Okay, we're recording now. So that was freaking genius that I just spilled on you guys right there. And it's got to be worth $1 million. Oh, wait, did I record that? Oh, I am now. Darn it, we missed on the recording.
No, I guess now I have to do my homework and start playing around with, you did give me an idea regarding the spin the wheel. I'm going to change the timing on it. And then I'm just going to play around with it, and then I guess get another developer to take a look at it.
Okay. You know, Task, you guys have done that a few times if you're comfortable using that, but it's something that's good for you to use. All right, so let me just say, when you install it, if you run one of these reports, you'll want to see where its code pops in, right? Because if your site gets too slow, if it pops in and starts to load way up here, then that's the problem. It's not, and so you want to load, and what it's doing is it's loading in the background, right? It's doing things in the background, and what you don't want it to do is you don't want it to start doing anything until the page, all the visuals, all the customer warm and fuzzies have started to load. Then the customer can be looking at the pretty pictures of dogs and hats, and a couple seconds pass, they don't care. Right, because they're looking at the picture, they're looking at what they want to see now. So, yeah. All right, so Roger and Marcia, does that make sense? Did I help you guys as well? Is there questions you have on that?
Well, I did mine, while you were doing this for Mandy, and I see the same sort of grades, the same sort of thing. I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to do with this information.
Okay, Roger, do you mind if I pull hers up real quick?
Yeah, sure, no worries.
All right, let's do this here.
We always keep a clean version of our theme. Because if we uninstall any apps, then we can just reinstall the clean version and not have the old apps sitting around in the coding.
Yeah, it's good call.
Yeah. And always make sure I compress all my images as well. I always use JPEG images because they're easily a compression on them.
Right. You know what? I'm gonna make a note, Roger. And that's a great advice. I give that advice all. In fact, I've got to update some content on that. But let's talk about. We should just spend some time at some point talking about image prep, and I'm gonna make a note of that. And if you want, Roger, what I'm gonna do is I'll ask you what's your process you go through when we get to that. Let's come back to that. But great call. All right, so simple shoes. So what we have is very similar. Here's very similar scores. Look. Right. The pages are almost the exact same size, fewer calls, half a second more, a little more than half a second more, similar these over here. So it's a very similar situation, but let's take a look and see what we see. Okay, the overall, there's obviously some room for improvement here, but it doesn't suck, all right? But so, for example, I've been looking at what, do you know what this is? Polyfill? CDN, Polyfill IO?
No.
So just let this, if you do this, let this tell you where to look, right? Now, I'm telling you right now that I'm gonna open up a, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna sit here and talk about nothing in particular for a second. Let me see here. New private window. All right. And then I'm gonna take, and say simpleshoes.com. Right now, I'm gonna do this old school. I've got my stopwatch in my hand. So let's just go ahead for a second here. And remember, what matters is the customer experience. So this is so since I'm using a private window, it should avoid any caches. It should load it as if it's an unknown site if I'm loading it for the first time. So here I go, click at the same time. Okay, you're a little bit long. My experience, I can't show you here, but my unscientific clicking a stopwatch until I saw this pretty picture was 3.1 seconds.
Uh-oh.
So it's just a little bit long before I got where I thought I wanted to be.
Okay.
All right. So that said, and again, but oh man, you have no idea some of the sites I've seen. I did this. I went on a rant online. You don't follow me on social media. Probably you didn't, because I was really mad with Condé Nast Traveler site, and holy crap, the site takes forever to load, and it was just so painful. Well, let's go ahead and just kind of give you that experience. I want you to feel this is how I'm going to make you feel good. Condé Nast, was it Traveler? Condé Nast. Let's see if that's it. There we go. Watch. It's clicked. All right.
Wow.
And it gets look how can you see the page jumping around?
Yeah.
Watch. See how it's still loading. Look. Watch. I'm trying to scroll. It won't let me. See the spinning wheel? Right?
Wow.
Right.
That's crazy.
And they keep trying to load it. There, it's frozen again. It's frozen again. Oh, jumped. It won't let me scroll. I'm trying to scroll and it won't scroll. Now it's scrolling a little bit. It's such a bad experience. So I'm just going to grab that. And this is a multi-million-dollar company, right? A multi-million-dollar company. Let's feel good about ourselves just for a minute, okay? You can even tell part of it by how long it takes to fetch the site. And we're waiting. And we're still waiting.
Wow.
Oh.
Right. So and the real, see, the thing is, yeah, that's a swear. I mean, I went on a rant online about, that whoever's running this site deserves to lose their job. And it gets worse because I'm trying to unsubscribe. I subscribed because, as you all know, and I don't mean to keep beating the drum, I'm moving to Puerto Rico, and I was looking for resorts and stuff in Puerto Rico, places to take my wife, and they offered me some content. And so I said, would you like us to send you more information about resorts in Puerto Rico? I said, sure, here's my email address. And now, this is how annoying these people are. Last Monday, over a week ago, I think it was Monday of last week, I unsubscribed. And the first they said, I'm sorry to see you go. It may take a while before your unsubscribe is fully processed. That was the message they got me. And so a week later, I'm still getting their email blasts every day. That's how annoying these folks are. Anyway, so this guy needs to be fired, but this is a different deal. So this is, F 14.6 seconds for a fully load time. It's a 41 megabyte page, right, for their home page. Not even for a main content page, for a home page. And it has 436 external requests. And if you go to their waterfall chart and just grab this, it takes over 10 seconds to get a full an onload so that people can see it, and 14 and a half seconds, right? And they're gaming the system with their first contentful paint, because what they're doing is they're issuing their first contentful paint so that Google doesn't punish them, and then they quickly start loading their advertising on the back end of that, and that's what slows the whole site down. It is just a pain. It's a horrible user experience. But anyway, so don't feel so bad. So, but to go back where we were, Marcia, All right. Here's your site again. There's some things to look at, right? I would be looking at these, like this thing, I'd be looking at that right there. I'd be looking, here's something that takes almost a full second. The PB script, the JavaScript that's on your site. And so this thing is slowing you down right here. Whatever this is.
Oh.
You see this?
Yeah. We had a bundle app that we're not using anymore.
There you go. So I look right here and I see, okay, you know what? I see that this is taking 700 milliseconds. This is taking nearly a full second just for this thing. It's not a big file, but what it is, this is one of the ways that slow down. Okay, so when you have these external calls and you don't, and if you turn off the app or you uninstall it and you don't remove the code from your system, the code is still trying to phone home. It's still like, it's like ET,
Yeah.
right? So, and it's not getting a response because you're not paying them anymore, or you didn't get your subscription renewed, or whatever it is. It's saying, oh, this is not an account, but the code is still trying to phone home.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep trying to phone home until it does what's called a timeout. And that timeout is whatever the developer set it to be. He could say, I want you to try once every second for the first 10 seconds, and then I want you to wait 10 seconds and try again, and then it's a fail. Those are all configurable settings that the developer sets when he builds his app, and you have no control over it. But if you have a remnant code, and I'll use the term legacy in this case, if you have legacy overhead code sitting here on your site that you're not using anymore, it's trying to phone home, and it's just not getting there. And so it just keeps trying. And then you don't move on as a website until it gives up.
Okay.
All right. So in your case, you can just look at this and say, okay, I'd look at this, whatever this polyfill is. This JS cookie, I don't even know what that is. It's a JavaScript cookie, but it does something. See here, it's calling to at jsdeliver.net. All right. I'd look at that. I mean, just look at all these things that are taking time. And if you're using them, you're using them. If you're not using them, you're not using them. Right?
And then do I have to have a developer get rid of them, or can I just blast them out myself?
It depends. Some developers are very responsible, and they make uninstall scripts that are effective at pulling their apps out. I'm no crap. Hold on, I'm gonna give you the story. I was having a struggle. I'm not going to mention the name because I got friends in this company, but it's one of the biggest hosting control panel software systems in the world. I was meeting with them in Germany, and I was having desperate trouble because I had installed their control panel on a test server, and I wanted to uninstall it because it was my test server. I was just doing testing and stuff like that. I didn't want to just sit there forever. And I met the lead developer for the project, and I said, hey, look, I'm having some trouble. I can't uninstall the software from my server. And he's Russian. He said, we do not imagine any scenario in which anyone would want to uninstall our product. All right. So that's one, and it's a true story. It's a true story. All right. So they made it so their product was uninstallable. We had to wipe the server to get it off. And it's a lot easier nowadays because you can do virtual servers. You just turn off the virtual server, everything disappears. But this is back in the day when you had to uninstall on your server. But anyway, so you don't know the quality of the person who wrote the app. If they are a high quality developer, they're going to make a clean uninstaller and a clean installer. And they're also going to do what's called garbage collection. I used to work at a software company and I managed a few products, so forgive me, I'm getting deep in the weeds. You don't need to know all this. But you don't know how they ran their development process. They may have just built the app so it works and got it up and running and didn't go back and do all this other what's called development best practices.
Okay.
So I don't know.
But like now, so can I get rid of this code myself, or?
If you've uninstalled or the apps and this code did not go away, I would not touch it myself. I wouldn't even.
Okay.
I would be paying a professional developer, starting a task with TaskHusky. I'd say, hey, this whatever this is, first of all, make sure it's something you're not using, and say, I'll always run, no matter what you're doing, whenever you're making changes in your site, run a backup. make a duplicate of your site. You make it, just clone it, set in the background, and then say, okay, I've got, and that's our, we do that anyway. We always work from a backup. We don't work from a live site at TaskHusky. If you tell us to fix my site, we're gonna run a backup. We're gonna run a duplicate of your site, make the changes in the backup, and then make you approve it there. That's how we roll, right? That's how we do things. But if no matter who's doing it, I always run a backup myself, so that I have it. No matter what happens, I can stand up the new site and make it my primary, and I'm up and running no matter what the disaster is. But run a backup and say, okay, I'm not using this. I've got these things that appear to be slowing me down. I need to have these pieces of JavaScript removed. It's not hard to do, but I want a professional developer to do it.
Okay.
I know how plumbing works. I know how electricity works. I'll paint in my house. I had a summer job when I was a kid hanging drywall. I will patch a wall. I will paint anything, and I'm pretty good at it. I will trim a window. There's lots of things I'll do. I'll hang a door, right? But plumbing, electrical, and roofing, I know how they work. I know intellectually how they work. I'm still paying a professional to come out and do them because it's just, in my opinion, code should be handled by developers.
Okay.
Okay. Roger, my pleasure. This is cool. I mean, I really enjoy doing this stuff. I told the boss that, and he said, "Okay, they don't have to pay you." I said, "No, you still have to pay me." So, Roger, is this all old hat to you, or was this stuff all you knew already?
I knew most of it. Been playing around with my site for ages, and I also read a lot on Moz and SEMrush as well, so I'll pick up a lot of stuff from there.
Good for you.
And then I duplicate and then play around with the duplication and see if it gets any better. If it gets any better, then I try to improve it on every duplication until it becomes good. I mean, my load speed is about 4.6 at the moment. That's because I stupidly went and put a stupid slider on. I should never have done it.
Yeah.
My page speed is 888 kilobytes, not 3 megabytes.
Oh, your size? You mean your page size?
Yeah.
It's under a meg. Yeah, that's gonna load fast. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, and I've got 63 requests, which I've got to try and get down because 2 of those requests are pointing to old domain names such as www. which isn't used anymore, and HTTP is still sitting out there.
Cool. Well, you know what? That's good. That's best practices, dude. I mean, that's it. And I recommend that every website owner, and different frequencies, right? Because some people don't mess with their sites much. Some people just stand the site up and they load products and stuff like that. But if you're trying out new apps and you're doing new things, I think it's just a best practice just to go through and see what you're doing wrong. To see if you've left something code up there, and just to take out what you're not using. It's like having cleaning out the storage shit every once in a while and throwing away what you haven't used in 6 months.
Yeah.
So do sliders slow it down?
Yes, they do. Because they take up a lot of space.
I don't see a slider on your site right now, Roger.
I just turned it off.
I see.
I suddenly realized what I did and kicked myself and turned it off.
Yeah.
Okay, because we have a slider. We've got 4. Should I just take it down to 1?
That's what I did. And then I'm just rebuilding or just building a brand new site. So my themes come from Pixel Union. I quite like Pixel Union. Very, very responsive to everything you ask.
Yep. And
we just downloaded the Superstore theme, and that's got a whole box of tricks in it now. Where you can play around with the minify part of the site as well, which can help with speed. You can automatically compress JPEGs. It's just so. And it also tells you, if struggling with speed, you can go back to them and you say, why am I struggling with speed? And they come back with a set of statistics, and they say to you, okay, so you've got leveraged browser caching, which I still haven't got my head around.
Right.
But I'm actually playing with that at the moment, and that's why my site's slowly getting faster and faster and faster. My site used to be about 5 megabytes last year, and I've started to realise that if you use JPEGs, compress all your JPEGs down to the minimum without reducing the quality. Don't fill your homepage up with garbage such as videos that just take up huge amounts of space. And we use a lazy load as well on our site, so our site only loads as the people scroll. But it loads quite fast as the people scroll, rather than the whole page trying to load in one big instant. If they don't scroll down, they get the Airflow spa cover picture and then our menu, and that's all they get until they start to scroll. It just saves a huge amount of time.
Right.
Huh.
So now is that some custom code or using an app to do that?
Well, the lazy load.
Lazy load, right?
Lazy load becomes part of the theme now.
Right.
They updated it just after the new year.
Good.
So the lazy load's a great addition to the new theme.
Now
Time.
you know, it is.
5 seconds waiting for the page to load.
I'm sorry, you said you're without the sandbox?
No, well, it's the same company. It's Pixel Union.
Oh yeah, okay, Pixel Union. Okay. You know, good folks. Our two top people who refer us business are Pixel Union and Out of the Sandbox, and they're kind of the same and different and all that sort of stuff now, right? But which is your theme?
We're using Empire at the moment.
Okay. You know, it's a good theme. I might even write some content, because that's a good thing about lazy load. That's a good thing for page speed. That's people need to know things about more stuff about that. But I'm going to point something out, because we're in an area of what I call of secret sauce, right? Simple Shoes is a fashion brand, right? And it's targeting this guy. It's targeting this guy, right? Right. This got started as a skateboarder, right? So it's a brand that relies more heavily on images. But in my opinion, and so, you know, not that the picture of the spa cover or the picture of those recirculating pumps are not of value to Roger. I'm not saying that. They're very, very valuable, right? But if somebody's coming there to Roger's site, they've got a very specific need. You know, you're competing here with everything from, forgive me if I get the wrong competitors, everything from Skechers to Dockers to, you know, everybody who's going for this, you know, 18 to 30-year-old shoe market, you know, who wants to think that they're still skateboarders, you know, that's a different level of competition. But Roger's completely right, because if you look, you saw that I pulled your image down, right? I grabbed your image,
Right.
okay, and it's first of all, it's well formatted for a hero image and a rotator. It's not perfectly formatted. It could be a little smaller, but it's well formatted, okay? But even at that, this beautiful big image, which looks really nice, it is currently 235K. So if you have 4 of them, it's a megabyte. So if you have, you know, it's just simple additive math. So if you have 4 of these images, and if they're all about 250K, then that's going to be about half of the size of the total of your page that you want to optimize to, right? Okay. Now,
so we should just have one, no sliders.
Well, I think that's worth testing. I think that
we did have that for a while. Yeah.
Right. I think that for you, because you're a fashion brand, Roger gave you nothing but good advice. There was nothing wrong with what Roger said, even the slightest. But you want to be in a position to test, and what you're going to be looking for is, you know, bounces and people who are scrolling, people who click on products. So if you're selling products online, all right, and if your bounces go up, if your number of page views goes down, when you remove this, right? And I don't know if you're. I mean, I'd be A/B testing it, and I don't know if you have traffic to do that yet. But I would just say, okay, well, here's the deal. We're going to A/B test this thing, and I'm going to make 2 identical sites, and the only difference is going to be whether or not I have a slider up here, right? And then you just A/B your traffic, right? And so that the person always comes back, and then you see what your time on page is. You see what your stats are, and see how it impacts you, because you are a fashion brand. It might be different with you, right? But you should take everything that Roger said, because it was all solid, real world advice. And but think of it this. Think of it. You have to think of it this way. Page speed is like the amount of money in your checking account, right? You've got a budget, right? So you have to determine how you want to spend that time, right? If you want this page to load in 2 seconds or at least less than 3, you got to make sure your page is loading less than 3, and you're not quite there yet. But if you wanted to make sure every time on every device loads in less than 3 seconds, that I got to get this trimmed down a little bit. Maybe you believe, and this is why you need to test. You believe that these hot young people sexy images at the top, you believe that this is good for you, then you've got to trim someplace else.
Right.
Okay. It's where you're going to spend your budget. But as a rule, the faster your page loads, the better. The rule of thumb across all e-commerce sites: the faster your page loads, the better the performance of the sales.
Right. Okay. Good stuff. Thank you.
Sure. Good contribution, Marge. That was really helpful. And I'm actually going to talk. I want to focus. I'll probably write some content on lazy load, because it was inspiring to me to get that information out there. Okay. Let's see here. What else? Okay. I showed you this. I'm going to send you that link. Showed you that. Okay. I'm going to send you guys this link as well. Roger is a font of information the last couple of weeks, and this is great. But this is this is JSON LD for beginners. This just talks about the technology behind the app that Roger recommended. And by the way, I've now come to love that app.
I got it.
I got it too.
Nice.
Their customer service is amazing.
Eric's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I've heard nothing but great. Everybody loves the app. Everybody loves him. It's great. I think I put his. I'll close this. Don't do this anymore. I put his page here somewhere. Yeah. There it is. But this is so this is JSON LD for SEO. That's the name of his app. This is just why it matters and the technology behind it. You may or may not be interested, but I'm going to go ahead and send that link anyway. So Mandy and Marcia, you did it. Did you both install it?
Yep.
Yep, and he had me actually do a longer description on my products. He said that I should my descriptions should be like over 300 words. So
300
I
words.
spent.
Okay.
Yep. So I spent my weekend. I was like, yes, I'm gonna do them all in one day, and of course that didn't happen. but I worked over the weekend, and I did out of the 12 products that I have, I think I did 8 of them. But he says because it helps Google. Hold on, I'm pulling up his email because I want to share this with you guys. Okay, he said, I did a quick review of your store. And I want to make a recommendation. Google likes to see a fair amount of unique content on every page. That usually means 300 to 500 words. I found Shopify stores can make do with less, but the more product content, the better and faster results. I'd recommend adding additional unique content to your product descriptions. Aim for at least 200 to 300 words or a handful of paragraphs. You might also find that this additional content helps your SEO ranking too. So
point to a product that we can look at with you that you've done that too.
So you can go to the Unicorn Mini Potty Box, the first product on the homepage. Unicorn Dog Birthday Mini Party Box. So if you look at the description, I added in an H2 and an H3, and then I just went ahead and I put together a list of party tips, and I put in strategic keywords in there.
Nice.
So each one of my products right now has between 300 to 400 words in them.
Wonderful. Now you have Google Analytics running, yes?
Yeah, I know how to use it. It's there, but that's like a whole nother conversation.
H2, okay, cool. H3, oh gosh, this is awesome. And nice. And I like this because, and this is a good format because now, because this is likely to be able to display on a phone, so it's not too big. How many words is that? Let me see here.
This one is 377.
No, I'm just looking for this paragraph.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. 55 words, yeah. So I let me tell you what I think he gave you some nice advice. This is good. This is what you have here is 55 words, right? That
in the first paragraph you're talking about?
Yes, in the first paragraph, because what'll happen is that will be able to be read in most cases on a modern smartphone with an image. The image will appear, and this text will fit. Does that make sense?
Yes, I'm looking at it on my phone.
Okay, and am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I always recommend your first paragraph be just about, I gotta say 50 to 70 words, because that way it's going to fit and somebody does not have to scroll to get the gist. But then as they keep scrolling, they can get more information if they want it. And I love it. Did you put this Shop Now button? Is this a button?
No, it's not a button, but because I couldn't figure out how to do the button, I highlighted it in pink.
Okay.
So that was my way around that, because we talked about that last week.
All right. I think you've almost hit all of the marks for a small business, startup business that I have for these things. Somebody just rang a bell and it was appropriate. But if you could get this add to cart button repeated here and repeated here, you'd have 90% of what I call conversion stuff set up.
Yeah, I think I have to do that with a developer though, because I was trying to do it on Shopify, and then I was like, no, I'm just gonna highlight it in pink.
Yeah, cool, good. Well, nice job, cool.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any comments?
Yeah, it looks good.
Thank you.
All right, I'm looking at your alt tag now.
Yeah.
Shopify does do coding for an extra button, doesn't it? You can call it up on the Shopify help.
Yes.
It's placing it's the difficult part.
Here we go. Let's see here. Alt. I don't see. I'm missing. Where's the alt tag? I'm just missing it. I'm not grabbing it for some reason. Yeah, I'm not getting it. Code's not grabbing. I'll trust that there's a. Does anybody else see it?
No.
I don't see it either.
Okay, I'd say, you know, I'd say get an intelligent alt tag that's ADA compliant and SEO golden, and you know, you call this one done. I think, and make sure that each one of these images.
They are. They all of them have the alt tags because I went through the whole thing this weekend.
Perfect. In that case, you know, that's fine. Maybe just that, you know, maybe it's the way this displaying it in this case, but that's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Cool. Good. All right, Roger, did you bring anything that you wanted to focus on or discuss today?
No, I'm easy. I'm good.
How about you, Marcia? You good?
Yes.
Wonderful. I will send links out. Thank you, guys. It's 7 minutes. Boy, time flies. It's 7 minutes after. So we're you know, we've used up our hour. I'll get the information out for next time. Again, great information, and I think that I'm enjoying the calls. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
See you.